Discretionary spending is a great entry point for entrepreneurship and a good source of business traffic, but it is definitely not a solid foundation for building a lasting career. China's future means real value and affordable prices. As a large country with over a billion people, our per capita income is still not high. We're at the threshold of upper middle income status. 900 million people earn less than 3,000 yuan per person. China's economy isn't shown just by cities like Beijing or Shanghai. Look at any provincial capital in the east or west, or a county with 300,000 people, right? China has 2,894 counties, each with populations of 300,000 to 400,000 people. The chains, brands, and lifestyles that can survive in these counties are what truly show the state of China's economy. China has nearly 50,000 towns. To understand its market, focus on county and rural economies. They are the real picture. Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen together have only about 100 million people. So, China has fewer middle-class consumers and less consumption upgrading than many assume. That's why I believe that mass consumption, convenient consumption, and essential goods consumption will be the mainstream in the future. So, when the overall volume hasn't changed, we must focus on and invest in essential goods consumption and the development of essential goods for China. This isn't what you would call consumption downgrading. In the past, when I had extra money and in an environment where wealth was being exchanged, I might have been willing to spend on certain things, you know? Those were actions of consumption upgrading. When emotional value was being released, I was willing to have a cup of milk tea, eat some ramen, have an ice cream, or browse these new cosmetic stores. But today, with the economy slowing down, per capita income not improving enough, and the economic environment facing a lot of uncertainty and pressure, everyone is cutting back. In fact, there is a real situation of consumption downgrading, which is why essential goods consumption is doing relatively well. So you can see that the price reductions for products have been pretty significant. But when it comes to discretionary spending, this category is definitely facing major challenges, and new consumer brands have basically been frozen over the past few years. The core reason is that what was called new consumption in China was mostly focused on things like functionality, aesthetics, and emotional value, those kinds of aspects, instead of targeting essential goods consumption. Essential goods consumption is a massive market. To become a part of everyday people's lifestyles, it requires true large-scale, continuous integration of production, supply, sales, talent, and resources. It's not something that can be achieved by relying on other factors. They thought that by focusing on emotional value, functional improvements, and aesthetic value, adding aesthetic intelligence to emotional and intellectual intelligence, they could achieve entrepreneurial success. So, the challenges faced by discretionary consumption are actually very significant, and in the long run, they remain quite substantial. Discretionary consumption is a good window for entrepreneurship and a great source of business traffic, but it is definitely not a solid foundation for building a lasting enterprise.